Yo, what is up, boys? It is your boy Xehther here, back at it again with another video. This being, what if Naruto had assault mode? Yes, Meliodas' famed assault mode. The very purpose that the Ten Commandments were afraid of Meliodas, and the Meliodas that literally cucked this man Escanor. He had him below his very boot, and it took the one Escanor to beat this man, so I think that this Naruto is definitely going to be pretty OP. So with that being said though, guys, if you guys love an OP Naruto, make sure to go hit that like button. And also, if you guys like Anbu Naruto, make sure that you guys get tuned for what's to come. So yeah, that being said though, guys, I don't want to waste you guys' time too much. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so where story's all going to start off is when Naruto is 7 years old, coming home from the swing that we always saw him in the flashbacks. Today had been a pretty rough day for Naruto, and again he had been ignored by all of the kids in Konoha. None of them wanted to play with him, and Naruto just ended up by himself on the swing. Naruto would be walking home looking down as he honestly just doesn't have a care in the world. He just feels completely depressed. At this point, the sadness was starting to get to Naruto like never before, and he was walking home with tears in his eyes as he'd be wondering why it's always him. Why can he not have a single friend? That's all he wants. Naruto would proceed to basically just be walking home as some of the villagers would start throwing stuff at Naruto. And on the way home, Naruto would basically see some guys with a mask. As at this point, Danzo actually wanted to step in. Danzo has actually been wanting to take Naruto and get him to join the Anbu so he could have Naruto on his side. Naruto would basically be assaulted by Anbu members who were basically trying to kidnap Naruto so Danzo could step in and save the day in a sort of fake way to get Naruto to trust Danzo and to feel as if Danzo is trustworthy. But instead of that happening, as soon as the Anbu members would jump down and start messing with Naruto, Naruto would start saying, "Stop it. I'm not in the mood. Stop. Stop." And they would continue to just grab Naruto and take out their kunais. As they would stand in front of Naruto, they would then begin to throw some shurikens at him. Naruto would then slowly start getting angrier and angrier as Naruto would then say, "Stop it!" He would scream out to the heavens as Naruto's eyes would just go dark black, pitch black. Naruto would then immediately, as soon as that happened, blitz them both, ripping both of their hearts out like in a Killua fashion. As he would then crush them in his hand, and he would then just be standing there as he's looking dead in a sort of Meliodas way, where you guys know where Meliodas kind of just loses control. He'd be staring out into nothingness, and this is when Naruto would basically fall over as Danzo would have seen all of that go down. And after he had seen all that, he would then be thinking one thought and one thing only: he needs to get this kid on his side. As immediately he would grab Naruto and take him over to his base, where he would take him to the Anbu's location, and he would take him to a secret place where not even Hiruzen was aware of. As Naruto would basically proceed to just be healed up by Danzo, and when Naruto wakes up, he would proceed to essentially just manipulate Naruto and tell him that, you know, if he remembers anything that happened. Naruto would say no, and Danzo would proceed to say that some ninjas were trying to kidnap Naruto, but he stepped in and took them all out. As Naruto would basically proceed to thank Danzo and ask him where he's at. As Danzo would tell him that he's actually in the Anbu. No, he wouldn't say he's at the Anbu location, but he would say that he's at his house. As Naruto would say, why did he save him? Doesn't he hate him like everyone else? Danzo would look at Naruto and say that he doesn't hate him. Matter of fact, he actually would appreciate it if Naruto stayed behind a little bit, maybe train a little bit with the old man. As Danzo would be putting up a front and he'd be smiling like crazy. As Naruto would basically look at Danzo and he would just look at him with those trusting eyes. As Danzo would say, "What did we say, Naruto?" Naruto would look at Danzo and say, "Okay, I'll stay. What are we gonna do?" Danzo would smile. As he would then look towards Naruto's direction and say that they're gonna do a little bit of training. as this is the first day that Naruto basically trains with Danzo. After the training session ended, Danzo would ask Naruto if he would like to stay here and stay with the old man. You know, he doesn't really have too much company, and Naruto would be it'd be pretty cool to have a little roommate. As Naruto would basically tell Danzo that, you know, he could stay the night, and he would stay over at Danzo's house as he would proceed to just train with him. And he would train with him for days, and days would become weeks, and weeks would become months, until eventually Naruto just trains with Danzo every day. He would have actually taken Naruto and just gained his trust so much that Naruto was completely oblivious to what had happened with him. Naruto would have pretty much just been kidnapped without him even knowing it. And the people of the Leaf Village would proceed to start thinking after a couple of months that Naruto either, you know, died or escaped. And Hiruzen does as well, but no, Naruto is with Danzo. He would continue training with him until he's about at the age of 12 years old. And this is around the time that the teams of Konoha are basically being picked, the Genin, the 12, as they would all be put in their own separate teams. But this time, Sai would actually end up replacing Naruto on Team 7 and fill in the gap for Naruto that he had, you know, filled in the original. So yeah, Sai would take Naruto's place, and well, Sakura, Sasuke, they would be oblivious. They'd not even know Naruto existed. I mean, sure, they knew that he was some sort of Nine Tails or something like that, or demon, but that's really it. But they're just kind of glad that Naruto's gone. So yeah, Sai ends up replacing Naruto on Team 7. And after years of training with Danzo, Naruto's affinity for chakra would be incredible. Naruto would have a complete mastery over all 5 chakra transformations and natures. And he would even be able to combine a couple of aspects. He'd be able to combine water and wind to create an ice type jutsus, and they wouldn't exactly be Kekkei Genkais, but he definitely have that ability to mix 2 chakras together and create very powerful jutsus at that. So yeah, Naruto would proceed to essentially just move like that, and he'd begin to train with Danzo more and more, as he would also train his ability to go into that dark state of his. Danzo would explain to Naruto that he has this sort of ability and that he just knows he does, as Naruto was just completely oblivious to what he's talking about, but he would just trust Danzo. After all, he had pretty much raised him all these years, and he was never lied to him before, so why would he do that now? So Naruto would put all his trust into Danzo, and he would end up, after all these years, learning how to control assault mode to a certain degree. Sometimes he would lose control for the first couple of years, but Danzo would be able to take care of it with his ability to basically control Naruto. Yeah, he's controlling Naruto with his genjutsu. Anytime that Naruto would go out of control, he would just use his most powerful genjutsu to calm him down. And yeah, because of this, Naruto would basically just keep growing up with Danzo, trusting and being completely oblivious to what's going on in reality. So yeah, Naruto would proceed to basically just finish up one day of training, as Danzo would look at Naruto and say that today is the day that he's going to go on his first mission. At this point, Team 7 had already gone to the land of the waves, and they had already had the first battle with Zabuza. And not Haku, but Haku was there and present. You know, she got there, but she basically just took Zabuza just like in the original. And Naruto basically proceeded to be told by Danzo that today is the first day where he's going to be assigned a mission. This mission being taking out Gato, a drug lord from the village hidden in the waves. He had some very important Leaf intel that he was threatening to release unless the Hidden Leaf Village gave him a large sum of money. So Danzo decided to act before Hiruzen could and send Naruto off to take care of him. So yeah, Naruto would get all of his stuff in order, and Danzo would basically tell Naruto that he better not disappoint him, as Naruto would essentially go in and try to be as fast as possible with the mission. He wanted to really please Danzo and make him proud. So Naruto would immediately, after getting all his stuff together, just start going as fast as he possibly could to the land hidden in the waves, as he would immediately begin to look for Gato. And he would be asking around if people know where Gato's at. Of course he would be told, and when he arrives at Gato's base, Gato wouldn't even be there. There'd be a couple of men there, which Naruto would take out gladly, but he would then go back to the land of the waves. As on his way back, he would actually see that there was a huge battle going on, And when he would look deeper into it, he would see that the shinobi that were fighting in it were members of the Hidden Leaf Village, as Naruto at this point has definitely been corrupted by Danzo. But, if they're members of the Hidden Leaf Village, then, why shouldn't he help them out, is what Naruto would be thinking. So, yeah, Naruto would basically blitz on in there as he activates his assault mode, and in an instant, he would rip out Zabuza's heart. As right after that, Zabuza would drop to his knees before Kakashi even had the chance to surround him with his dogs or use the Chidori. As of course, Zabuza would fall down onto his knees and die right there. As Haku would see that as she was fighting against Sai and Sasuke, she would immediately trap Naruto inside of the ice mirrors, and it's right in that instant where she begins to move at light speed as fast as he possibly can. Not she, but he. Sorry, that thirst trap be confusing me sometimes. But anyways, Naruto would proceed to basically blitz around Haku, and he would proceed to essentially just blitz him, and before the battle even started, Naruto would destroy Haku as fast as it had begun. So yeah, Naruto would destroy Haku, and that was that. After this, Naruto would basically look at the shinobi that were there, this being Kakashi, Sasuke, Sai, Sakura, and Tazuna, as he would immediately just cover his face up with his mask again. But Kakashi saw some golden locks, and they kind of reminded him of somebody, but he couldn't quite put his finger on it. He would remember this and go back to the Hidden Leaf Village. As Naruto, right before he left, he would have actually seen Gato's boat arriving, as he would have ended up taking out Gato and all of the men that were with him. So yeah, Naruto would basically take out Gato and go back to the Hidden Leaf Village as fast as he possibly could to report back to Danzo that the mission was completed. As at this current point, we're actually going to switch our perspectives over to Kakashi's. As Kakashi would arrive at Hiruzen's, his office, he would tell Hiruzen that he had saw some kid in the land of the waves. He was an Anbu member with blonde hair. As Hiruzen would basically say that he never sent anybody. He would then wonder if maybe it would have been something by the doing of Danzo, as he would go over to Danzo later on in that day. But that being said, we're switching back over to the perspective of Naruto. At this point, Naruto would have basically arrived at Danzo's place, as he would begin to immediately inform Danzo of what had happened, that he had basically assassinated the drug lord Gato, and he would have basically told him that he left without a trace. Nobody saw him except for some Hidden Leaf shinobi. As soon as Naruto would say that, Danzo would immediately punch Naruto square in the face, telling him he wasn't supposed to be seen. As Naruto would say that he thought that meant for other shinobi. He didn't know it was that serious. It was just some Hidden Leaf shinobi. I think the name was Kakashi. He had gray hair. As soon as Danzo hears that, he would proceed to basically grab Naruto, as he would say, listen to me and listen to me clearly, boy. You ran into Hatake Kakashi. That is one of the most powerful ninjas in the entirety of the Leaf Village. And now, because of you, I'm going to have to eliminate him before he gets a chance to tell Hiruzen anything, as well as that entire team. So these lives are on your hands, boy. As he would look towards Naruto and drop him. As he would actually be walking out of the area, Hiruzen would see Danzo walking in the village. And he would then begin to question him on the whereabouts of that shinobi that basically had saved Kakashi and that team in the land of the waves. As Danzo's face would go blank, and he would then proceed to look at Hiruzen, as he would tell him, of course he could tell him exactly where he is. As Naruto would just be laying there on the ground bleeding, as he would wonder to himself why Danzo reacted the way he'd done. He had never shown him that side of himself, and from what he can gather, all that Danzo has ever done to him was be incredibly kind. So this was just something so different that just Naruto just didn't understand it. So yeah, Naruto would basically proceed to just look out the out the window, as immediately he would see Lord Third. He would then run out of the area that he was supposed to be hiding in, as Danzo's plan was to show Hiruzen another ninja and say that Kakashi must have been tripping or something. But before anything could happen, Naruto would run out as Hiruzen would look at those blue eyes and the golden hair, and there would be no mistaking it. That was Naruto. He would look at Danzo immediately as he would tell him that what is the meaning of this. As Danzo would begin to explain to Hiruzen that what does he mean? He would begin to basically try to play dumb, and Hiruzen would immediately get angry as he would say that for years they thought that they had lost the Nine Tails in Jinchuriki. But Naruto was fine all along, as Naruto would step in and say, hey, what do you mean lost? No, I was just with old man Danzo. He's been training me for the past couple of years. He's pretty nice. Except for today. I don't know what it is, but it seems like he was trying to keep me a secret or something. As after Naruto says those words, Danzo jumps back as he would say, well, looks like the cat's out of the bag. As he would look towards Naruto's direction and immediately say, Kodo o Matsukami. But before he can land that jutsu or that dojutsu attack on Naruto, Naruto would immediately just basically have Hiruzen jump in front of Naruto. As Naruto would proceed to basically look at Hiruzen would have been caught under the Kodo Matsukami, and the orders would have been to destroy Hiruzen. So immediately after hearing that, Hiruzen would begin to think that it's his own idea, as he would cast a jutsu that will ultimately take himself down. He would literally end up committing Kermit-side, as the man just did what do we call this? A GG. He just GG'd himself. As after this, Naruto would be staring at the man who had basically raised him until he was about the age of 4 years old. He would then look at the corpse of Lord Third as he would then begin to look at Danzo and back at Hiruzen as he would say, You lied to me. You used me, didn't you? The pieces would all come together as Naruto would immediately say, I was supposed to do that. You've been using me. As he would immediately just get angry, and his rage would just explode off of him. As Naruto would look towards Danzo's direction, he would activate his assault mode, and before Danzo has a chance to blink, his heart would be ripped out of its chest. As Danzo would be reanimated 5 seconds later in front of Naruto, Naruto would wonder what this is, as he would get kicked straight into the Anbu quarters, as Naruto would get back up and flail out his wings as he would blitz towards Danzo and try to destroy him once again. After that, Danzo would, came back again and again and again as Naruto just continued to destroy him. And when Danzo was on his last life, he would have decided that it would be better to try something else, as he would try to put Naruto under a genjutsu. But before he got the chance to, Naruto would have blitzed him and in an instant pulled a Killua where he ripped out his heart, and he would have held it out in front of Danzo, as Danzo would immediately say, I raise it. As blood would come out of his throat, he would then begin to basically fall down onto the ground. As after this, immediately Naruto would report to the Hokage's office as he would tell everybody what had happened. People would begin to ask if it wasn't the doing of the Nine Tails, and Naruto would basically say that it wasn't him, it was Danzo. He placed Lord Third under a jutsu that he thinks is called the Kodo Matsukami, or so that's what he had heard. As immediately the village elders would understand what had happened, and they would begin to look at Naruto, as they would all pretty much take a vote on what they are going to do for Naruto. Are they going to exile him from the village, execute him, transfer the Nine Tails to somebody else, or use him as an asset? As they would all look at each other. And that's where I'm going to be ending today's video of what if Naruto was, or no, not Naruto, but what if Naruto had assault mode? Meliodas' assault mode at that. And if you guys want to see what decision the village elders take, definitely make sure to go on my community tab, as I'm going to be posting to see what you guys want to happen. Should Naruto be allowed to stay in the village, become a Jonin, and go on the adventures with Team 7? Should Naruto get kicked out of the village and go on his own ventures? Or should Naruto get executed and end the series? Yeah, you guys are not going to vote for that one, but come on now. Some of you trolls may do it, and then I'll have to just end the series here. No, but seriously though, all jokes aside though, yeah, make sure to go to my community tab and go vote on what you guys want. After this video's out, I should be posting that. So with that being said though, guys, you guys all know the drill. It has been your boy Xehther. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I love each and every single one of you guys. You guys are my everything. Love you guys. Love my job. But yeah, that being said, that's enough of that love. It has been your boy Xehther, and I am out. Peace.